In today's episode, the Mitsubishi Shogun. Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, the channel that brings you car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond. So if you're interested in car brochures, looking back at cars gone by or quite simply bringing back a few memories, then please do consider subscribing. It's completely free. So back to today's episode, the Mitsubishi Shogun. Let's have a look at that brochure now. So here is today's brochure then, and as you can see it's in pretty good condition for its age. We'll have a look at the date in a moment. So the Mitsubishi Shogun. Shogun, I believe, was only used in the UK. I think we're probably more known from around the world as the Mitsubishi Pajero, of course, although there's lots of different names around the world. Mitsubishi Montero, Colt Shogun, Dodge Raider, Hyundai Galloper, various different names around the world. But in the UK, we got it as the Mitsubishi Shogun. But if you remember, at the time, a lot of people did grey import these as Mitsubishi Pajero, of course. So I wonder how many of the actual original Mitsubishi Shoguns are still left in the UK. I know there'll be still some Pajero badged ones for sure, because I don't know why, but there seems to be a whole raft of grey imports of them that came into the country. Anyway, an interesting car. This, of course, is the Mark I version, or the first generation, which made its debut at the Tokyo Motor Show in October 81. January 83, we got this sort of long wheelbase version. And I always thought there was kind of like a good alternative to a Land Rover, of course. This is the days before the Discovery, so certainly it was a jump upon on them. And I think it was quite a capable off-roader, although, of course, quite a number of these examples, I'm sure, never actually managed to get off-road. At the top here it says Mitsubishi Colt, leading the way in car technology. And then it says the Shogun range, taking four-wheel drive into new territory. 2.3 diesel turbo, 2.6 petrol, 3 and 5 door models. So we are showing a 5 door on the front cover, but there are the 3 door models in this as well. And if I just flip the brochure over to the back page, we can see the dealer. Today is Ellie Settle Limited, Sowerth Estate in Settle. And I believe if I just zoom in a little bit further, I believe that's the date code 0285 or February 1985, I believe. Anyway, let's have a look inside the brochure. So when we open up, it says the 5-door Shoguns lead the field in all-terrain motoring. So it does start looking at those wonderful 5-door models. Like I say, a pretty good alternative to a Land Rover, I think. Would have been good for the farming community, I'm sure, but like I say, I'm sure a lot of them were just used to take the kids to school. Now, you notice in this brochure, it's quite a wordy brochure actually, a lot of information in here, although the brochure itself isn't particularly long. We'll certainly start by reading the text on these first pages. I don't know if we're going to read everything. I guess we'll just see how we get on. But we'll read this text first and then we'll make our way around these images. So it starts by telling us with the Shogun 5-door models, Mitsubishi sets new standards for the do anything, go anywhere, town and country workhorse with a 2.3 diesel turbo and 2.6 petrol model options. Chosen I should say, as the official vehicle for the last Sarajevo Winter Olympics, the Shoguns have established an outstanding 3-year winning record in the grueling 10,000 kilometre Paris to Dakar rally. In 1985, the Shoguns took first and second place overall, first, second, third and fourth places in the marathon category 2 class, and were outright winners in the diesel category. Petrol or diesel, this truly multi-purpose vehicle is equally at home down on the farm, up on the hills, cutting a dash at the local point to point, nipping nimbly around town, not sure that would be the ideal vehicle, or cruising effortlessly along the motorway. Get on the move, uphill or down dale, and the Shogun's outstanding ride characteristics are immediately apparent. There's independent heavy-duty AA wishbone suspension at the front with torsion bars and anti-roll bar. With each wheel taking the knock separately, the Shogun is simple to handle and control, however rough the going. At the rear, leaf spring suspension with Mitsubishi's special bias mounted telescopic shock absorbers reduce stress and strain. Now, of course, by this time, Land Rovers, the Land Rover 90, the Land Rover 110, and move away from leaf springs, haven't they? And they went to coil springs, but still leaf springs on these. It continues by telling us ground clearance is realistically generous, yet the chassis is still given extra protection with 4 skid plates at the front, fending off obstacles and flying objects. Set up for seating, the Shogun 5-door takes 7 travellers with room to spare. There are sporty individual reclining bucket seats for 2 up front, then a bench seat for 3 backed by 2 forward-facing split seats at the rear. You can even use this Shogun as a hotel. Second and third seats convert into a bed, 1.8 metres long. That's just the start of a series of ingenious folding tricks which allow you to permutate for people, space, or any combination of both. The 5 doors give easy all-round access with the swing type tailgate opening into the extensive flat floor area. Perfect for loading and perfect for picnicking. Secret boxes for concealed valuables, cargo strap hooks and handy storage nets complete an unbeatable functional specification. Though the Shogun is built to rough it, most drivers and passengers aren't. That's why we put the same consideration for creature comforts into the Shogun as we put into our renowned passenger cars. In fact, the Shogun is so luxuriously appointed that much of the competition looks positively Spartan. Now, I don't know if they're kind of like comparing that to a traditional Land Rover 110, I'm not sure. All models feature fabric and velour covering seats, plush all over carpeting and full interior trim. And I think we may as well pause here to have a look at some of these images. So that's the interior. Very unusual actually, isn't it, with this grey and then this lighter trim at top. But we can see, headrests all round, of course. Looks a lot of space in between those single seats there, doesn't it? And if we look at the interior, unusual steering wheel design, but plenty of gauges. Like I said, they are all actually pretty well equipped for their time period actually. I guess my only real thing, I have been in one of these actually at the time, and I always kind of like thought, it might have been a bit later actually, because it was when the Discovery came out. I always thought compared to the Discovery, these did look very plasticky interiors actually. Not much quality in the plastics, but overall I did actually like these vehicles. Next page actually shows it converted into this bed area, but did anyone convert it and use it as a bed? Few and far between, I would imagine. Text-wise, it goes on to tell us the standard instrument panel includes a tachometer, water temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge and door ajar warning lamp. An illuminated 4-wheel drive mode indicator. There's a host of other standard features including laminated windscreen, tinted windows, heated rear window, power assisted steering and quartz clock. And I guess we should pause just to show this little diagram of, showing all the sorts of different seating arrangements that you could do on these vehicles. It goes on to tell us, whatever the climate outside, The climate inside is always perfectly comfortable thanks to the advanced 3-speed fan and air mix heater with through-floor ventilation. Realistically, designed for the ups and downs of country driving, all instruments and controls are easily reached from any angle. Whichever way you look at it, the Shogun is your perfect partner for the great outdoors. And then you could add something called the Diamond Option Pack. A special Diamond Option Pack adds further brilliance to the 5-door Shogun specification and comprises a limited slip rear differential, electric front and rear windows, push button LW MW radio. Sounds like you really did want the Diamond Pack, didn't you? Then we have a look at the rear with the door open. Very traditional, what they used to do at the time, your spur wheel on the door, making a very, very heavy rear door there. I always remember the sort of wheels, these white wheels were certainly very memorable. If I just zoom in a bit further, we can just about make out inside these sort of like rearmost seats and how they like store to one side. And the page opens the opposite way around and folds out to show this really rather lovely image of this silver Shogun towing this horse box. Now you certainly in the Land Rover 110 brochures, they always showed them towing a horse box. And I wonder if that's kind of like what this is showing here, to say, yes, this can do what a 110 or most things that 110 could do, although I'm sure they weren't quite as good off-road, but still very capable for most tasks. Also capable of towing a horse box. I wonder if that's what they're showing, so kind of like competing with that sort of Land Rover 110 county station wagon. Although I think the big advantage with the Land Rover was more capable off-road, but more important than that, they really did hold the value, did the Land Rovers. These didn't hold the value quite as well as a Land Rover, but in most ways this probably would have been a more comfortable way to get yourself around the country. So yeah, I certainly would have been tempted by one of these at the time for sure. And overall, I did like the styling in these big white wheels. Anyway, let's open the brochure up, see what else this brochure has to offer. So it moves on to the other alternative, the 3-door model. I don't think I like the 3-door model quite as much, although it would certainly be a better off-road vehicle with being a shorter wheelbase. Possibly this was competing with the Land Rover 90. I don't know. But it says, even the harshest conditions are second nature to the 3-door diesel turbo Shogun. And like I say, you certainly did get a lot of these in the UK, badged as a Mitsubishi Pajero, as in grey imported. I'm sure there was much cheaper that way. Anyway, let's read the text, make our way around the images. It tells us both the 3-door and the 5-door diesel Shoguns combine a 2.3 litre silent shaft engine to a compact turbo unit employing a new lightweight compressor, wastegate and relief valve, establishing new levels of diesel performance. The Shogun enjoys the unique advantage of turbo boost across the whole rev range. On its own, this creates an exciting new dimension in power, fast response and fuel economy, coupled with the low noise, low vibration and reduced engine wear benefits of silent shaft technology. It takes 4-wheel drive into an exciting new territory. Even in Arctic conditions, the powerhouse springs quickly to life thanks to the electronic quick glow plug system. Safety has been designed into Shogun from the drawing board through its sure-footed handling, tight turning circle and superb controllability. Even under load conditions, the Shogun has unshakable stopping power through power-assisted, ventilated front disc brakes and heavy-duty rear drums with a load-sensing proportioning valve. It shows front and rear lamp guards shown as optional extra. We'll look at that in a moment. Here is your 3-door interior. And from the rear we can see those lamp guards, which will be a optional extra. A little bit of a turbo decal on the side showing this is the diesel turbo version. And there it is from the side. A very simple design overall. And then finally we get a look from the front. I did like them from the front actually, with that Mitsubishi script and the badge on the grille there. We can see the light grills again, which would be optional extras. This is also showing a headlamp wash, which I think they all had, and they were actually a very powerful headlight wash actually. Actually, we do get another little tiny image here, which is a zoom in of that turbo decal, diesel on the flap there, and again that light guard, which will be extra. And then on the final page it says, whatever the surroundings of three-door petrol Shogun sets the scene in four-wheel drive luxury. So yes, we've got the three-door again, but the petrol version this time. Let's have a look at the text. The 2.6 petrol engine three-door Shogun finally closes the door on the competition. Built to the same matchless specifications as its diesel turbo counterpart, it powered a 2.6 litre four-cylinder engine developing 103 bhp. Superior quietness, reliability and performance, acknowledged throughout the world, is derived from Mitsubishi's unique silent shaft technology. In simple terms, two counter-rotating balancer shafts rotate at twice the engine speed. The result? Substantially reduced vibration, reducing wear of the engine and chassis components. A more comfortable, quieter, less tiring ride for driver and passengers. A thermocoupled cooling fan further reduces engine noise as well as improving fuel economy. Out on cross-country manoeuvres, the Shogun is as agile as a mountain goat. The centre of gravity is extremely low, so you can traverse slopes with confidence. In fact, the Shogun takes hills in its stride through the exceptional versatile high-torque 5-speed gearbox with four-wheel drive transfer lever. For heavy duty, you have the choice of a four-wheel low range or four-wheel high range. For lighter duties or normal road driving, you slip into the two-wheel high range option. An ordinary transmission system may be good enough for ordinary vehicles, but not for the Shogun. Transfer drive is extra smooth, positive and remarkably quiet, thanks to a special silent link plate chain. The rear axle is driven directly from the 5-speed gearbox for maximum efficiency. Adapting easily for people or for cargo, the three-door Shoguns feature reclining bucket seats up front, with the passenger seat tilting forward for uncluttered access to the rear. The rear bench seat comfortably accommodates 3 people and folds flat for cargo, which is easily loaded through the wide opening rear door and over the flat sill. The spare wheel is externally mounted on the rear door, expanding passenger and cargo capacity even further. So the first image is this sort of a rally version in some kind of event. A look at the rear this time with the door closed. More interior images of the three-door. And there is our final image of the three-door, this time the petrol version. Finally, on the back page we get the specification page. So the Mitsubishi Shogun features 2.6 petrol, three-door, 2.3 diesel turbo, three-door, features, laminated windscreen, tinted glass all round, rear side windows, slide open, lock shut, heated rear window washer wiper, headlamp washers, reclining fabric vinyl covered front seats, adjustable head restraints, inertia reel front seat belts, fold down fabric vinyl covered rear seat, carpet floor covering, passenger and cargo area, lockable door armrests, lockable glove box, padded sun visors, dipping rear view mirror, interior light, front and rear ashtrays, roof hand grips. Then moving down to the 2.3 diesel turbo 5-door, 2.6 petrol 5-door features. Additional to the 2.6 petrol and 2.3 diesel turbo 3-door features, reclining fabric covered front seats, fabric velour covered, very nice. Front and second row seat head restraints, Second row seats, bench type seat with tumble forward fore and aft adjustment, reclining fold forward seat back. Third row seats, individual front facing seats, side folding, fold forward reclining seat backs, rear door armrests. Instruments and controls, windscreen wiper control lever, intermittent 2-speed wash wipe, headlight and indicator multi-use lever, side lights, dipped main beam, headlight flasher, direction lane change indicator, headlight washers, illuminated heating and ventilation panel, 3-speed fan, air mix heater, demist, face level ventilation and fine adjustment temperature control, recycle ventilation facility for avoiding heavy traffic fumes, heating duct to rear seat passengers, speedometer and trip counter, tachometer, fuel gauge, water temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge, 5-door diesel turbo and 5-door petrol, inclinometer, 5-door diesel turbo and 5-door petrol, voltage meter, 5-door diesel turbo, 5-door petrol, glow and start warning light, diesel models only, water separator warning light, diesel models only, brake vacuum warming light, diesel models only, door ajar warning light, 4-wheel drive indicator light, handbrake on, lever sensor warning light, battery charge warning light, oil pressure warning light, 3-door models only, main beam indicator light, turn signal indicator light, instrument light rheostat, rear fog lamp switch and indicator light, heated rear window switch and indicator light, rear wiper and washer switch, electromagnetic tailgate lock release switch, 5-door model only, quartz digital clock, illuminated cigar lighter, push button LWMW radio, 3-door model only, and hand throttle. And then we get the diamond option pack for the 5-door, which adds limited slip rear differential, electric front and rear windows and push button LWMW radio. Then the specifications, which are a bit wordy, so I'll probably just pick a few things out. It starts with the chassis and body, which is a full-length reinforced box section steel chassis, of course. What else do we get? A laminated windscreen, tinted glass, front and rear mud flaps. Lighting and electrical, which of course is 12 volt. And halogen headlamps, dual tone, dual horns, twin reversing lamps, rear fog lamp, hazard warning flashers, electric windscreen washers, electric headlamp washers, rear window washer wiper, heated rear window. Like I say, a lot of this we've talked about already. Of course, 2 engine choices, whether you get the 3-door or the 5-door, you get the same engine choice. 2.6 litre petrol or a 2.3 litre diesel. Feels like there's a bit of a mistake on this because it starts talking about the 2.6 litre petrol, but then it says 4-cylinder OHC inline diesel with twin silent shafts, displacement 2555 cc, which makes sense, doesn't it, for the petrol? I don't know why it starts talking about diesel. I don't know. Maximum output 103 bhp at 4500 rpm. Maximum torque 142 pound-foot at 2500 rpm. The 2.3 litre diesel is a 4-cylinder OHC inline turbocharged diesel with twin silent shafts. Displacement 2346 cc. 84 bhp at 4200 rpm, 133.5 pound-foot at 2000 rpm. Transmission is a 5-speed manual. Brakes, vacuum assisted dual master cylinder system, load sensing proportioning valve, floor mounted parking brake, front ventilated discs, large diameter heavy duty rear drums at the rear. And then finally, steering and suspension, variable assisted power assisted steering with tilt adjustable safety collapsible column. Front suspension, independent heavy duty AA wishbones with torsion bars, telescopic shock absorbers and anti-roll bar. Rear suspension, heavy duty leaf springs with bias mounted telescopic shock absorbers. Then goes about the weights and capacities. I'm not going to go through all that, but that is the figures there. Same with the fuel economy figures. And then finally we will end with the dealer stamp there. So yes, this brochure would have been picked up in Cecil. Well, there we go, the wonderful Mitsubishi Shogun brochure there. Certainly an interesting vehicle. I do remember them very clearly. Although, I don't know if rust was an issue, but the original Shogun badged vehicles in the UK seem to disappear very, very quickly. So I don't know if there was a few issues with rust, but thank you so much for watching today. If you do own one of these, or you did own one, or you had an experience with one of these, please do comment. Always interesting to know how people got on with them. But thank you so much for watching today. We'll end as we always do by saying, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. You'll never be charged to be a subscriber, and certainly thank you for anyone who has become that. I'll add a couple of videos to one side there, which will be other episodes in Quarterlight. You can just click on and continue viewing. Although we're approaching 900 episodes now, so I'm sure there is something for everybody. So have a look in the back catalogue, or just quite simply comment, have you done? And I'll see if I can find you the link for one of the episodes we've done. But thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. See you again very soon. All the best, and goodbye.